All right, so I thought I would look through this old box of comics I've got. I probably haven't looked in this in 2+ decades, but labeled right here, Maximum, so Maximum Press and Post Image Extreme. So I'm guessing if this is accurate, it's going to be a lot of Liefeld comics from when he was publishing through Maximum Press and then later Awesome Entertainment in like 96 to 99. So should be some great stuff. Let's check it out. All right, first of all, is this facing the right way? Yes, and it's actually even earlier than I thought. This is taking it right up to the end of Brigade Volume 2. And also, this box as a whole is like 50 pounds. You can see the scale right over there. I just weighed this. It's like 50 pounds of extreme comic books. So, probably pretty much everything, including really obscure spin-offs of, I believe, Angela from Todd McFarlane's Spawn comics. It's a different Angel. Chapel, always a fan favorite. Yeah. I always loved all these Liefeld covers. This is not Liefeld. Who is this? It looks kind of like the Jim Lee Deathblow. But the Liefeld covers were always awesome, even though it'd be even better if he was doing more interiors, you know. But the covers are great. Babe Watch, that was a funny crossover. All the guys got turned into girls. If they had met Glory, I believe, was versus Spawn. Chapel. Combat. They really gave everybody that was on the Youngblood team, like, a shot. I don't remember a lot of this. Crypt, I remember the character. I don't remember the series. Cyberpunks, I believe part of this maybe showed up in Asylum. It's part of an anthology, but maybe it was just that one issue. Dooms 4, soon to be a movie from Steven Spielberg, according to 1993. But it's been a while on this one. Let's see. Another great Liefeld cover for Extreme Destroyer. Technically, I guess the third big interstudio crossover. They had Extreme Prejudice, then Extreme Sacrifice, my favorite, then Extreme Destroyer, but alphabetically. This is going to come first. I'm guessing that's what I'm doing here. It's alphabetical. So there's the epilogue for that. Then going back in time to the first one, Extreme Prejudice 0. This was a mail away, so you had to clip the coupons and get this. Classic, all-time classic Liefeld cover. This one I'm just going to pull out so I can show you the back too. I can't really do the video, like set it down and get it out of the bag, but this was always one of my favorite covers. Maybe I'll do a different video where, you know, I get a table set up now that I know what's in here, but this is really just a surprise to me, everything that's in here. I mean, not so much of a surprise. I know I bought this. I know I bought this in the 90s. Extreme Sacrifice, number 2, I guess. Another great cover. Extremely Youngblood. Hilarious. You know, like X-Babies. You know, for kids. Glory 0 didn't come out first, though. First issue would have been Glory 1 with, am I saying this right? Mike Deodato Jr.? I like his stuff. I especially like his stuff at this time. In fact, I think Glory might be my favorite series from him. And it was written by Joe Duffy, who I think also had a long run on Catwoman. So she had a feel for leading female protagonist, I think. And I enjoyed the Glory series, but, you know, it is one of those books, you know, if you're going to pick these up now and read it, you got to be aware of the fact that there's not going to be a clear conclusion. You know, publishing mishaps mean that the story, as it goes on, gets kind of truncated and plans get changed. There's been reboots, new versions of Glory since then. I don't think I have a lot of those. This is great. I wish I never made it to a convention back in the day. I've met Liefeld and a bunch of other Extreme Studios guys in the last couple years at conventions, but only for the first time. I wish I was in the 90s when they were really going just like crazy with their tours, because they had these models out with them too, but it might have been overwhelming for me as like a 10-year-old. It's possible. So like I was saying, Glory kind of gets cut off here. I believe there's 15. There's 17. There's no 16. That'll confuse you. There never was a 16. Again, you see, well, for the first time, maybe you see, we're going from Image to Maximum Press after Extreme Studios dissociated from Image. It caused like a publishing gap for a couple different titles, Glory, Youngblood. I think New Men was able to overcome, but unfortunately, New Men only got like 2 or 3 issues after they switched. It was like all of them. They were in the middle of stories. I know there's a lot of completed, unpublished work out there from this era of Extreme Studios, and it would be awesome if it eventually did get published. I would buy it. I would buy it. 22. Great Ian Churchill cover after he's probably came on board when he started working with Rob on Avengers for Marvel for the Heroes Reborn. And then they started doing stuff like, these covers for Glory, some work in Judgment Day will probably show up in here. And his own title, The Coven? That might be in here too. Angela Glory, I believe these bumped up $1 or $2 in back issue prices from cover just because of the appearance of Angela. That character has ongoing appeal as a strange transplant to the Marvel Universe. Not sure what the entire rule is there. Like, would Todd McFarlane still be able to put out Angela comics even though Marvel's doing it, or is Marvel the exclusive license holder of that intellectual property? I wonder, but we don't know for sure. Kid Supreme got the first couple issues of this. Heck yeah. Oh, something stuck. Kid Supreme #1, a great couple issues, and then I know some more short stuff in Asylum from, again, I think an instance where there's only a few published issues, but a lot more completed stuff that just has not been published. If only a Kid Supreme omnibus came out, I'd buy that. I would. But Dan Fraga, great guy, very friendly. I bought a couple of sketch commissions from him before at conventions. And he let me interview him one time. He's a great guy, very friendly, and I love his work even today. I think he's going to put out Black Flag. We haven't seen Black Flag in this box. It might be coming up. But he says he's going to do a Kickstarter like Indiegogo for that. So I hope he does sooner rather than later, because I'll back it. Kid Supreme. Nightmare by Marat Michaels. Getting a reflection on this. Probably seeing me. I see me. I guess do I have 2 versions of the first issue? I might. Maybe it was a different volume. Sometimes that happened where it'd be a one and done and then they'd come back for a longer regular series. Night Strike. I always use that as a reference for obscure extreme titles, but at least I remember it for that purpose. I remember the obscurity. Some of these others I just forgot completely. I'll never forget this cover, though, from Terry Moore of Strangers in Paradise, doing Lady Supreme for Extreme Studios. Another one where 2 issues and then moved to Asylum. Legend of Supreme, fun Keith Giffen, Jeff Johnson book that exists, I don't know, based on the narrative, based on continuity, as maybe a story within a story sort of situation where this only technically happened in a comic within the comic that someone was reading in an extreme comic, if you get what I'm saying. Anyway, lethal. Enough said. Maximage. Maximage is how I always said it. Maybe it's Maximage. Maximage makes sense. A weird one where like every Hate, that was a crossover, unnumbered, but Angela Glory crossover. Something. What was that? Was that a crossover or independent? And then Shadow Hunt was in there? I don't know. Now I'm just guessing. But I was going to say Maximage, I think, suffered because every issue was connected to some other title. And hey, maybe not everyone's like me. I bought all these for some reason. But maybe some people are only fans of New Force. Which is, it's funny I'm there because that was actually, I think, the case for these Eric Stevenson, Todd Knock, New Force and New Men comics. And then later, Chris Sprouse came in, of course. But I think everyone loved this stuff. And they didn't necessarily want to read, just because you're reading New Men doesn't mean you want to read New Man. Newman. That was, Hate crossover. This was the one. Because this is Shadow Hunt, right? And then, no, that's Shadow Hunt. Anyway, that's the one where they're hunting for Shadowhawk. Okay, this is a classic. This was, even at the time, I remember when New Men came out with art from Jeff Matsuda. Even at the time, it was like, this guy is amazing. This guy knows what he's doing. And he was doing like Wizard envelope fan art 2 months before getting a job there. So he was on a meteoric rise, and he's continued that rise. But these were amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4 with crossover with Ripclaw. More Ripclaw. 5 and 6, but unfortunately I think that's his last issue. I mean, you know, bittersweet, because then Todd Knott comes in and he's good. It's just, he was great. He's great now, and I loved the title at the time, but I think everyone thought it was a bit of a bummer to lose Matsuda. But I still love the rest of this run. And I've gotten a commission from Todd before too. So he's also a great guy that I've met. Who was it? We got right here. Bootleg. That was his character that I believe he still owns the copyright on. So he could do new Bootleg comics if he wanted to. He should. I'd buy that. New Men. This was great. Okay, so this is the first one we run into of these. I wonder how many of these did I get? Because this was a Joe Quesada 9-piece collector's cover. So maybe we already ran past one of them, but I'll just throw it out here and then maybe just build the set later. Because I know where these go. I can put these back later. You know how it is. All right, so New Men. We got to the end of that. And then New Men, the brave new Men with Chris Sprouse now on the art. This was a great series. But unfortunately, only 3 issues, then they stopped publishing. Operation Night Strike, Prophet. Here's another mail away. Prophet 0. Start to help myself out here. One of the first releases. You know, this is not even close to post Image Extreme. This is Image Extreme. I'm going to skip ahead because if a lot of this is, that Extreme proper, that was fun. But what I'm really here to see, Team Youngblood, great. All-time great, of course, Team Youngblood 9 with Liefeld's return from an almost year, maybe a little longer than a year sabbatical. This leads into Youngblood 6, another great one. High watermark, in my eyes. Love this stuff. Great cover. Always loved this rendition of Shaft with these freaking boots, man. That's serious. Troll. They did a bunch of Troll one-shots. Where are we at? Youngblood proper. It's funny, the key Extreme title, here's Youngblood 6, like I already mentioned. The key Extreme title is like, if you're organizing it alphabetically, it's going to go in the back. So that's kind of funny, just for the purposes of how we did this video. Maybe this was the peak of Youngblood in my eyes. Maybe. There's an argument here. Youngblood 8, this is where it just went crazy, but, you know, it leads into issue 10 and then Extreme Sacrifice. And then Liefeld, I don't think, has any, like, extended runs on the title again as writer-artist. And to me, that's the loss, you know. More Liefeld interiors, I say, is great. Or Chris Sprouse would be good too. This Youngblood Super Special with art by Chris Sprouse, I believe written by Eric Stevenson. Really great. Another Babe Watch. Shaft now with the big boots as a lady. Hilarious. Youngblood. Here's another example. Like I said earlier, numbering got thrown off when they switched. There was Youngblood 10. But then Youngblood 14 from Maximum. There's no 11, 12, and 13. There is, though, Youngblood X-Force as well as an X-Force Youngblood. I forget which goes first. If I bagged it like this, I'm guessing this is the first one. It's kind of like a 2-part story. I liked it. Youngblood Strike Fire Classic. I know people love the Jay Lee stuff, but I guess I'm bagging the flip books, again, prioritizing the Liefeld cover. This might have been the peak of Strike File for me, this Jeff Matsuda Bad Rock story. Maybe my favorite Bad Rock story. Great battle art cover, though. Great veins. More Youngblood strike file. And what is... Oh, this is... Let's just pull this out because this is what we came here for. Clearly, the next box is where the real serious Maximum starts. But here is, final bit for this video, the series anthology title Asylum from Rob Liefeld's Maximum Press. This is Sword and Stone, I believe, from War Child. Mike Diodato again. Now, Mike Diodato, what do you want to do? Well, I got this idea. I call it Death Kiss. Perfect. You're in. Cybrid, something that was in Extreme Zero, I believe was the name of the specialty book. I don't think I have that one. But like Extreme Tour Book 92 or Extreme Tour Book 0, something like that, had Cybrid and then didn't appear. And then here he is again in Asylum a couple years later, but never really took off. Christian, I love this because this was at a time when I was getting into Pop Mahan or Pop Mon. I don't know exactly how you pronounce that. When he was doing a Ghost Rider, and there was a story there where Howard the Duck showed up, and I got into this artist because of that. And I like this. Ran a couple issues. Here's Christian again. Next issue again. Cool art, I think, from Pop Mahan. Sorry. Again, Christian. Shows you, even at the time, I liked it because this is a flip book, and that's what I'm prioritizing. Although, I'm embarrassed I say that because I flip it, and I love Dan Fraga. But I guess at the time, I had to give the edge to Christian. Jeff Matsuda, great art for, I believe, again, Stone from War Child. I have to admit, I've been waiting on the Alan Moore War Child comics to come out before I finally read the old ones. I have them bagged somewhere. I haven't read them ever. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get those Alan Moore War Child comics. I've been waiting 20 plus years. Who's got the skills to draw it? I say give the script to Matsuda. See what he does with it. Let's see. Yeah. More great Fraga art with Megaton Man by Don Simpson. Dandy Don. We've stopped doing flip books, apparently. Here is where Kid Supreme 4, what Kid Supreme 4 would have been in Asylum 9. Don't get it twisted. Flip books back. Foot Soldiers, I have this. I have Foot Soldiers, like an early issue, I think, from Dark Horse. But I don't really know what happened to that. Seems like a Netflix series in waiting, practically. Lady Supreme, this is where Lady Supreme issue 3 would have gone, but now it's Asylum 10. That's all right with me. Meanwhile, Rob's going to be bringing Cable to Captain America. That was his last issue, but, you know, it's what everyone wanted to see. Let's see, last issue of Asylum. Oh, has that cap still not come out yet? Second month with this ad? All right, buy it again. Avenge a Blade. Oh, what a goof. What a goof. These are the last two here. Last one, Avenge a Blade, early Patley art, kind of a parody title, kind of silly. So anyway, that's 50 pounds of a majority of my Extreme books, I guess. But I'm thinking there's a lot more in other boxes. Stay tuned if I can find them.